What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Yankees Avenue Show on the Yankees Avenue YouTube channel. As usual, I'm Patrick Hennessy. That's Dan Rourke. Dan, how are we doing on this very fine Thursday morning?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Roller coaster of emotions over the past few days, and I'm kind of still experiencing that as we speak right now. Yankees just took 2 out of 3 from Cleveland. So that's the main thing. That's the main end goal. Anytime, go into a series, you want to win it. That is good. Some other things, though, that we do have to talk about, which we will. So for that reason, I'm kind of in the middle, I guess, in a way. Weird. How you doing?
I'm good. Just turned 23 today.
Oh, you did? Well, you're actually kind of a liar because recording's before your birthday. But if we're being accurate, in an hour, Pat's turning 23. Sure. I want to say happy birthday to you, Pat. I promise you I would sing you happy birthday. I'm going to do that at the very end for any new listeners.
Wait, are you actually? I'm going to hold you to that.
100%. At topic 5, I'm going to sing you happy birthday.
It's my Don Mattingly year.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Pat. 23 years old. They grow up so fast.
Yeah, no.
Doing good, though?
Yeah, no, life's good. The Yankees are up and down. The Yankees are a roller coaster. We'll talk about all that today. And you know what, Dan, before we get into that, though, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, FOCO. All the best Yankees merchandise in the game. Use code Yankees Avenue at checkout. Save 15% off your order. We'll show you guys some other stuff later. But right into topic number 1. And Dan, like we said, the Yankees are an absolute roller coaster right now. But they did take 2 out of 3 in their most recent series against the Cleveland Guardians at home. But Dan, with that 2 out of 3, obviously there was a little bit of chaos involved in that. Controversy, chaos, whatever you want to call it. And it all stems from Aaron Boone and Clay Holmes, right? So Aaron Boone almost blew the game for the Yankees, not the second straight night, but for the second time this series, by bringing Clay Holmes he brought him in the 8th inning with 2 outs, right?
8th inning with 2 outs in game 3. And then in the first game, it was the 9th inning with 1 out, 1 on after Herman.
Yeah. So basically what had happened was on Wednesday night, he brings him in, and bro, this is after the total catastrophe a couple days ago. And we were like, bro, at some point you just got to stop using Clay Holmes in high leverage situations. And after the game, I was kind of hoping maybe Aaron Boone would admit that. But after that first blown game by Clay Holmes, he said that there was zero hesitation. That put a little gulp in my chest where I'm like, yo, this might happen again. Happened again Wednesday night. And once Clay Holmes blew the game again, and whether you want to blame it on IKF, whether you want to blame it on just bad luck at that point, do whatever you want. Clay Holmes still blew the game. Bader got injured in the process. And, dude, it was just a total, complete shit show. And it has me asking the question now, at what point is Aaron Boone held accountable for almost purposely trying to blow games for the Yankees just to feed his narrative that Clay Holmes doesn't suck?
Yeah, by the way, the zero hesitation quote, unless it was a double quote, he said that after game.
No, he did. It's for the second time.
So it wasn't just that one night. Now, here's the thing. I'll kind of culminate all my feelings about the Clay Holmes, Aaron Boone into this topic. Hopefully not going to drag on too long. But pretty much going into this year, I trusted Clay Holmes, and I still do, as a reliever with very good stuff. As for him being the Yankee closer, it's quite clear that that can't happen anymore. Now, something I've pretty quickly realized with Clay over the past couple of weeks, really just this season, is that he has a trait that you can't have as a closer. He gets the yips. He really does. The second things start to unravel, he loses his own even further than he already was to start out. I mean, game 1 against Cleveland, he comes in, makes that error, can't make the play. And then from there, you just see him totally lose his own. And I mean, that's the total opposite of what a closer should be. I mean, you need the whole thing about how Mo, forget this, move on to the next thing, goldfish memory, right? Doesn't seem like Clay has that. Now, with Aaron Boone, bringing him in, I didn't have too much of an issue with taking out Herman. I mean, probably not what I would have done, but putting in Clay, not to mention on 4 days rest, which he always struggles when he's had a long layoff, it does really bring up the conversation, which many Yankee fans have preached for years now with Boone, is he has no feel. And as somebody who has defended Boone for quite some time, while acknowledging a lot of his mistakes, I am pro Boone. For those who've watched for a long time, kind of know that. I do like Aaron Boone. It's becoming harder to defend him, especially after he does it again tonight in game 3. Now, he says there was zero hesitation. Me watching as a fan, I was shitting bricks. And I was just thinking for Aaron Boone, whether or not he actually believes this was the right move, and he clearly does. The second Clay gives up that base hit, which IKF should have made that play, let's be clear. But just the butterfly effect of everything is also why I'm pissed. Clay Holmes never should have been in that game. And I just wonder what's going through Aaron Boone's head as he gives up that lead. How can you see that happen and be so confident going into the postgame saying zero hesitation? And once again, I'm a Clay Holmes fan. I think he has great stuff and could provide a lot of value for the Yankees team this year from the 6th or the 7th inning. But I mean, dude, it's almost like the baseball gods causing karma, honest. Now, once
Yeah.
again, like Clay Holmes didn't even pitch horribly tonight. I mean, it was soft contact, you know, not exactly his fault, but the butterfly effect of putting him in when Ron Marnacchio was pitching fine, could have just gotten one more batter. And then what happens?
Miles
Clay comes
Straw
in.
at that, bro.
Yo, absolutely. Like, arguably like the worst hitter in baseball. I mean, I don't know exactly what he was doing this year, but I know his career stats, not good. Ron Marnacchio was looking fine. It was just one more out, have a little bit of field. Not to mention, I mean, Clay's having control issues. It's pouring rain at that point when you bring him in. So, I mean, just from the standpoint of, yes, Clay didn't pitch horribly tonight, but he never should have been in the game in the first place. And the butterfly effect of that was Yankees losing the game or losing the lead at the time. Harrison Bader gets hurt. Oswald Peraza later gets hurt. I mean, it's.
But bro, like my whole thing is, right, like you said, you're pro Boone, whatever the hell that means. But even you got fed up with like with this whole situation the other day because, bro, at some point accountability has to be had. And dude, it takes a lot for me to get worked up as far as the Yankees go. But I'm so worked up over this Aaron Boone thing. What do you mean, dude? I don't get
bro?
That worked up.
Dog, you were tweaking over a Jose Trevino post game, which we'll talk about later.
We'll talk about that topic, Bob, and it's not tweaking; it's kind of just whatever.
Yeah. Go on.
But dude, at what point does Aaron Boone have to have some sort of accountability for these boneheaded decisions, bro? And it's nothing new. Like, these are the same decisions that we've seen for years now, and it's just with Clay Holmes this year, bro. In past years, it was with Aroldis Chapman or whatever guy who was just. Bro, look at last year's postseason when he was just continuously bringing Clark Schmidt into games or Frankie Montas out of the bullpen in game one of the LDS. He clearly isn't a good manager. And I don't know at what point, like, is he able to keep succeeding at his job and keep getting extended and not having to hold any sort of accountability for these putrid decisions and just doubling down on them, bro, and having no repercussions. Me, it's like, yo, I put out an Anthony Volpe tweet that everyone hates. I have to hold accountability for that. You know what I mean? It's like, I face the backlash. And it's like Aaron Boone doesn't seem to have to. Sure, you have people in the crowd screaming, fire Boone, Boone sucks, whatever. At the end of the day, it means nothing. His job isn't on the line. And I was watching the Michael Kay show the other day, and he kind of described, I was. And he described it perfectly. I think he was talking about Cashman, but the same applies to Boone. These guys know that their job is never on the line, so they don't have to do their job as such, right? They kind of just do whatever they need to do to get by. Aaron Boone is managing this game like it doesn't mean anything. He's throwing Clay Holmes out there in hopes that he's going to come back to form, even though it's a do or die situation, but he doesn't care, bro, because these games don't matter to him. He has a job regardless. And I think
that's not
that
true.
Comes from,
No, he does care.
If the Yankees lost this game tonight, he still has a job.
No, I agree with pretty much everything you're saying. He definitely cares. It's just he hasn't been good at his job.
But it's not the same level of caring because his job isn't on the line. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I pretty much agree with everything you're saying right now. Just that last part was it. I mean, I want to kind of go back to that game one because I mentioned pretty much what you're saying right now. And that was, in an ideal world, there are consequences for what just happened tonight. Very bad consequences. And something that is quite concerning for, even if I weren't like on the train of, because I'll be honest, like, I don't know where I stand on this whole thing. Because in the end, I don't think Boone is the reason why the Yankees haven't won a World Series. It's in essence the player's fault. It's Brian Cashman's fault. And for the most part, 99% of the season or 95% of the season, like, I hold that sentiment. Like, he's not why the Yankees have been struggling so bad. The players aren't good enough. But yeah, this series, he was horrible. And, naturally your brain goes to fire him, get a new voice in the room. But the problem is, Brian Cashman thinks the exact same way that Aaron Boone does. They're in lockstep. I mean, you look at the moves of bringing Clay Holmes. Brian Cashman probably had that same plan in order in his brain. And him and Hal Steinbrenner, Brian Cashman and Hal Steinbrenner, they're like family at this point. Apparently, that's what I hear. So There's really no, like, I feel like a lot of times in an organization you need like a good cop, bad cop type situation. And there's no like overlooking, like George Steinbrenner was. There's no overlooking like Emperor Palpatine figure that can be like, I don't know, like, shut this shit down, like something needs to change. And that's what's concerning. Not that I'm at the point where I'm not at the point where I say fire Boone. I'm not. But it's annoying. It's annoying. No, but it's annoying that if I were, it'd be pointless because there's no chance I feel like that happens. No chance. No. I said I think the one shot where there could be change-ups in the organization is if they go like below 500 this year. That's the one thing I think there might be a shot. But outside of that,
bro, but even then, that brings us into topic number 2. Brian Cashman addressed the media on Wednesday, and he kind of just, it was meaningless. It was pointless. that's the way I'm looking at it. Basically the gist of what he said is he blamed everything with the Yankees struggle so far this season on injuries, which we kind of knew was coming. And I think that kind of stems back to how you ended the topic number one. And that's, bro, if the Yankees finish under 500 this year, they're just going to blame it on injuries, right? There's always going to be some sort of excuse. Brian Cashman will never come out and hold himself accountable for having a $300 million payroll, but a roster that doesn't equal that payroll. You know what I mean? So it's like we can say that, oh, if the Yankees finish under 500 this year, maybe we'll see change. We all know at the end of the day, we will not see that change because there will always be an excuse and someone else to push the blame on, right? Bro, the blame for the 2021 season was pushed on Boone's coaching staff. They were all pushed out besides Boone. I'm pretty sure that Nevin was blamed for a lot of the poor managerial decisions, which I think is insane. So I think it just goes to show that zero accountability can be held. But I think this whole Cashman media, whatever, it's just, it goes back to what we were saying in topic number one, where the Yankees organization as a whole just seems lost. And they just have, it's frustrating at this point, you know?
It's very frustrating. And, I don't have too much to even say out of this Cashman thing because while I was calling for him to address the media, and I am glad that he did, you quickly realize if you didn't know going in, like, you ain't getting nothing out of this. I mean, in a way, props to the reporters. I think some of them asked some pretty good questions, but outside of him taking a little accountability on, acquiring injury-prone players, outside of that, I mean, it kind of seemed like he was just bullshitting answers to get by and not really make himself accountable. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't seem like he actually felt any sort of, I don't want to say like guilt or nothing, but I mean, shit, the dude probably had arguably like one of the worst years this last year, let's say March 2022 on, of being a general manager in sports. I mean, the Josh Donaldson trade was absolutely horrible. And yeah, I was actually pretty happy about it at the time because I thought we were going to get at least a decent Josh Donaldson. But the goal of that trade was to do what? Pretty much dump Gary Sanchez. You could have just non-tendered him and saved the money, not had to take it on Donaldson. And then, every single pitcher that we got last year at the trade deadline, Frankie Montas, Scott Efros, Lou Trevino, every single one goes out and gets arm surgery. Now, Harrison Bader, big fan of him too. You acquired another injury-prone player. Carlos Rodon, I was happy when they signed him too, but like, doesn't really help your case. So it's like, well, yes, you've had a ton of shitty luck. You kind of made your own bed with the Cashman. So I don't feel bad for you. I don't feel bad for this team. And it's just a never-ending, like, at least when they're losing like this, it's a never-ending, hopeless feeling of knowing nothing will change. So you just hope things go right, because if not, you're screwed.
I love the way you put that. Like, because I know that that's the mentality that a lot of Yankee fans do have, and I know it's the mentality that you have, but it's the mentality that I just can't find myself having, because I question, I'm like, yo, I shouldn't have to like change the way I feel just because I know that the Yankees aren't going to make any moves, right? You know what I mean? So it's like seeing everyone get hype over the walk-off win on Wednesday. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, people get mad at me because I'm not hype over that walk-off win, right? Because at the end of the day, I know that, like, even though they won 2 out of 3 from the Guardians, this still isn't a good team. This still isn't a championship caliber team. And I think the problem is that it's like, bro, I can't find myself getting happy over stuff like that just because I'm looking at the grand scheme of things rather than these little things. But also, like, one little note that I want to touch on from what you said, Carlos Rodon. Bro, he's very quickly getting on my shit list. Like, dude, I don't think
the report is
under
very much
for
Carl
5 more
Pavano
years.
vibes with the whole nothing hurts, but I feel something feels off. Rodon, though, I mean, he's still a dog. I'm pumped for him to get back. Now, I don't want to get it twisted. I'm pumped about this series win. That was a huge series win for the Yankees. But,
but I'm not.
No, I know, and that's fine. I mean, we don't even got to get into that. I'm happy they won. It's very big. But also, a lot of people are mentioning anytime, I have a freak out like the other night, or just in general with a lot of the way fans are freaking out. One, this year is different. It's a different feeling of dread with this team and, the way the outlook is, at least over the next month or two. But also, it's not just 1 month we're talking about here. It's not just 1 month we're complaining about. Like, dog, I'm complaining about 6 fucking years of torture.
Same.
I mean, I was scared from the second we lost the ALCS Game 7 against Houston in 2017, because, everybody's saying we'll be back. This is just the start of something young. It's very hard to win a World Series. And unfortunately, we really have not put ourselves in the best position to even get to the World Series. And the head of that, the head name problem, is the GM, Brian Cashman. And in a way, Hal Steinbrenner is not on my shit list. I think he puts, like, if you were to just get a good GM and give him a $290 million payroll, you should be able to have a damn good fucking team. So I'm not mad at him.
Because of that,
but hold on,
like,
I will say this. Hal Steinbrenner, and I hate using this word because it's like, I don't know, it feels like a TikTok word, but like, he's kind of an enabler of Brian Cashman. He really is.
TikTok.
You know what I'm saying? That's a TikTok word. That's not usually the way I speak. But you know what I'm saying? Where it's like, dog, nothing's going to change if you keep like by giving him a 4-year extension. That's you telling him he's doing a good job.
But
And
that's what
that
I'm saying. So
assessment
you
essentially
have to
came
blame
right
him.
after the ALCS where we got swept, huh?
So that's why I'm saying that's why you have to blame him. You're saying that you don't want to blame him, but he's the one who enables all of this to
Blame.
happen.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm like frustrated with how, but in the end, it's more so like Brian Cashman is supposed to be a good GM, and he's just not. He is.
He's a
I'll tell
good
you this right
GM, but
now.
he's outdated.
Sure, I don't know, but just to give a main enemy here from my perspective, it's not Boone, it's not Hal necessarily. It is Brian Cashman. He is the guy that I like. The chant I want to hear the most is fire Cashman, and in essence, they're kind of all connected. So it's the same thing. Like I was saying, I mean, it's all one family tree of Hal, Cashman, Boone. You know,
But that's why I'm saying they're all one in my eyes, right? Like I think that they all suck. I think that they're all useless. I think that they're all the same person, bro. They're
but
all
Hal
the
is
same
different because you
copy
can't
paste
like complain
version.
about Hal because you can't like saying it
Why?
to Hal to sell the team is Hal is not worth. Hal has not done enough egregious things to chant out, sell the team to him. He just hasn't. You chant that out to Oakland A's owners, the Angels owners. Hal has not been like, once again, I mean, you give a GM $290 million, he should be able to build a winning team. The problem is Brian Cashman. And yes, that relates back to Hal, but also talk about rooting for nothing. I mean, he ain't going nowhere. I mean, till the day we die, the Steinbrenner's going to own the Yankees. And that to me is fine. Like, that's not a big problem. But yeah, I mean, in a way it is because he does have to fire Cashman. So,
Bro,
I'm so I'm in like a weird spot, dude. I really, really am because like I hear myself say fire Cashman, and then it's like part of my brain's like, oh, it's May 3rd. But once again, nah, dog, this ain't just 1 month. This is the
no, it's
past 6
not.
years of fucking torture with this core. I don't keep going this core. It's like a different core now, but you know what I mean? Like 2017 on has been such a disappointment, man. And you know who I feel bad for? You know what I feel bad for? It's kind of off topic and lighthearted in a way. You know, the Rangers just lost game 7. I saw a
Yeah.
lot of their fans tweaking and they were all saying, man, last year, because I guess they went to the finals last year. They're like,
Yeah,
I'm now
something like
looking
that.
at last year's Rangers as the 2017 Yankees. And boy, is that just a horrible comparison that we have to live with
Bro,
now. I mean, dude, it's one of the most like I feel like one of those failed eras of all time. In terms
bro,
of
I
like it's up there with like, you know, we talk about the White Sox right now and the way they turned out. Like it's us time, it's them
it's like
times
that
two for the
90s
way it happened
Braves,
with
bro.
us.
Except they
Yeah,
actually
but at
won a
least they
title.
won one, dude. All we if we just had one,
I
everything
know.
would be like in a way
Even if
fine.
it was in 2020 with the bubble, bro. Like
Oh, that would have been
I needed something, dude. And I hate to keep harping on it, but it's the fact that I know like a lot of people are like coming after me like for being so like pessimistic lately and so negative, but I genuinely can't help it because as like the days go by and each season goes by, I keep building like this resentment up towards the New York Yankees, bro. It's like I'm looking at a parent that's like neglecting me, bro. It's like I was like a little kid and I was promised to go to Disney World every single summer. And every single summer, it's like, bro, we never went to Disney World. And then you start building up resentment, bro. And I'm looking at a team that had so much potential in 2017, bro. I was 17, so excited about this next core of the New York Yankees and just waiting for them to build on top of it and build a new dynasty. And we just haven't seen them make they were never that complete team that we were like, yo, this is a like if they don't win the World Series this year, I'll be shocked.
there was one
And that
moment.
will always eat at me.
There was one moment after 2019 when we got Garrett Cole. I finally thought that was it. I'll say this in response to what you just said.
But either way, it's like we wanted Cole and more, and all they did was get Cole, and then kind
At
of
the
sat
time
back.
that felt right, I think, amongst Yankee fans going into 2020. And then, you know, everything got all messed up. But I'll never lose faith, though. I'll always, and it's blind faith a lot of the time, and maybe even right now, but it's like I know the future is very bleak in terms of like the near future, the way this team looks right now. And yes, all the injuries, just the way people are playing, blah, blah, blah. But like I'll be there tomorrow, 7:05 to watch,
Same,
and no matter what.
same.
So it's in a way that it sucks that that's the case because they know they have us. But I will say this: if you're thinking about not going to games anymore, I highly endorse that. I get some people like that's the way you do it. You know, you go to every single game, that's that. But no, I'm like, if you want to make like I'm not giving them my money right now. You disagree? I wouldn't
No,
go
but
to.
this is topic number 5. But you're the whatever.
No, those fans were already in the damn ballpark. I knew what Trevino was saying. Different. We'll talk about it though. And we got to speed through the rest of the show, by the
I
way.
know.
So let's do some Foco shout out
But
and then
no. But also at the same time, I think that like this is a very valuable episode, and it's like sure, like these are long topics, but I think everything that we're saying, bro, this is important stuff, and I think a lot of people feel the same
I
way.
agree. It's also important to keep it under 30 minutes, but no, I agree with you. I agree. We definitely had to talk about this. And it probably was going to be the bulk of this episode, no matter what. I mean, we were talking about it before, like, oh, we want to talk about the Yankees winning the series, but in the end, like, this is the main story. Aaron Boone, Brian Cashman, and overall just them being the two faces of the way this season has turned out so far.
Yeah.
Some a little more reasonable so than others. But yeah, Foco. Let's talk some Foco, huh?
But yeah, before we get into topic number 3, Dan, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, the sponsor of the Yankees Avenue Show, Foco. They have the best merchandise in the game, bro. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Link in the description. They have the best Yankees merchandise out there, bro. They have bobbleheads, apparel, footwear, collectible items. Bro.
I'm gonna shout this one out again, bro, because first of all, this bobblehead is absolutely dope, and they got some new ones out right now too. You can check them out on their site. Absolutely sick. How about Garrett Cole, bro? 7-0. The Yankees are this year in his starts. A bad start for him.
It's
is
the only
6
time
innings,
they
2
win.
runs. Absolutely amazing. So, go get yourself a Cole bobblehead. And, there are some Yankees that are doing half decent right now. I wouldn't be shocked if Foco comes out with like a Willie Calhoun bobblehead if he takes off. You never know. So, bottom line is anything with the Yankee logo on it, they probably have it. You see that wall art. And, of course, I put my play button in the worst spot possible. You can't see it at all. But, that wall art, bunch of other stuff, apparel, all the stuff Pat said. Code Yankees Avenue for 15% off. Guys, go get decked out. Because the Yankees did technically just win a series, and they could use some support right now for what they're about to be dealing with this weekend, which is what, Pat?
Yeah, Dan, that was a great train. Whoa, I'm
learning, bro.
Topic number 3, Dan. The Yankees have a 3-game set at Tropicana Field this weekend to face the Tampa Bay Rays. The red-hot Tampa Bay Rays, I'm pretty sure they're like 25-6 now. The Yankees are in last place, still 8.5 games out of first. If all things go right for them, they could be within 5.5 games at the end of the weekend. If they go wrong, they could be 11.5 games out of first place come Monday, which is kind of insane. But will any hopes of winning the AL East be gone if they don't take at least 3 of these next 7 games against the Rays?
Mathematically speaking, no. But the way I feel about it and why I'm kind of, like I said, recalibrating.
Well, if they take 3, they'll be 9.5 out, right?
Yeah, that sounds about right because we would just lose a game. So, mathematically, you can do it. But once again, unless Giancarlo Stanton is coming back in the middle of May for no reason, then we don't have a team that's good enough to catch up with them, I don't think. Because really, I mean, I think the Yankees, once they get Judge back, and Harrison Bader, by the way, Boone says he thinks he's fine. Take that as you will. By the time this episode comes out, we may know more. But let's just say, at least going into that second one back at Yankee Stadium, which that to me is that's going to be the real big series, prime time there. 4 games in Yankee Stadium should actually be pretty awesome. If we have Judge healthy, we have Bader healthy, just in general for this month, stay afloat. And by that, to me, it means like get to Giancarlo Stanton's return, like over 500, maybe by 5-10 games at best, if you can. And by that point, you're healthy, trade acquisition, and make a run, wild card team, see what happens in the playoffs. The AL East, though, I'm not giving up on because I acknowledge it's very possible mathematically, but there's no world where I would predict this team to make up a lead like this. Unless they do show up and say, like, if they, on the flip, if they just say take 5 out of 7 against the Rays this weekend, or even 4 out of 7 from the Rays over this next week or whatever, then I might change my opinion. But as of right now, not. I've kind of given up personally on the AL East, which also is not the end of the world. It really isn't, which is a way maybe why it's easy for me to say
coping,
that.
Dude. Yeah.
No, I don't do that.
It's a big deal. No. It's a big deal that it's the beginning of May and we're already writing off the AL East. It's a big deal, whether you want to admit it or not. It's a really big deal.
I won't use the word writing off, and I just call my AirPods in my legs. That was sick.
Nice.
I'm not writing anything off, no. But I'm saying I personally wouldn't get my hopes up for a run like that because I don't think they're good enough with this current roster until Stanton comes back. It sucks, but it also is not the end of the world. Because to me, if that were the case, like then the season's over and there's no point to watch. Well, no, you can get into the postseason as a wild card team, especially it's not a big deal now, Pat, because it's a best of 3. If it were just that one game, that's different. But dude, we just saw the Phillies got to the World Series last year at the wild card team. I mean, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen.
I love your optimism, bro.
No. I mean, this is, and now I sound like I'm going to use the pessimistic line of where I'm not being an optimist. I'm just being a realist. This is me being a realist, dude. Like, it's not irrational for me to say the Yankees can stay afloat, get in as a wild card team.
No, they can. No.
But say the Yankees. Okay, here's the thing: if the Yankees, outside of not having home field advantage, which sucked, absolutely fucking sucks. Like, if you get past the wild card round, you're kind of on equal footing in a way. If your team, at least that you think is capable of winning World Series, which who knows? I'm not saying that's what they are right now. Not at all. I'm saying they're not that right now. But there's also still reason for fans to dream about us still getting into the playoffs and making a run. Because after all, we're fans. That's what we root for.
Yes.
So I'm being
but also
realistic,
at the same time,
reasonably optimistic. That's the way I
yes,
see it.
but realistically, we also have to acknowledge the fact that like a month ago, maybe a little bit more than a month ago, in our preseason predictions, we're talking about how the Yankees were going to cruise through the AL East, and majority of
I
people
never
had the
said that,
Yankees.
by the way. I never said cruise. I always said like 3 or 4
You know what
games.
I mean,
I said
bro.
it'd be a
Like,
race. That's what I always said.
okay, but I don't know why it's like horrible for you to acknowledge the fact that like the Yankees being almost out of the division rate. Like, dude, let's just be honest. If the Yankees lose this 7-game series, they are like, it's
You
going to
just
be
say
very,
it's
very difficult.
it's horrible for you not to acknowledge what? Did you not hear me this whole entire episode?
No,
And just say
because
that the AL East is probably out
but
of reach.
you're like you're sugarcoating it. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
I'm
like,
not.
oh well,
No,
the
I'm not
wild card
sure.
isn't bad.
No, I'm saying it's not like I'm all like terrible vibes because we can still get into the playoffs. So there still is
But
hope
you're
for
not
the season.
annoyed.
Of course I'm annoyed, Pat. I'm very annoyed. And I kind of already got all my frustration out in the 20 minutes we just talked about. So now I'm preparing for a series with the Rays.
I know, but I don't
recognize,
know how you're so okay with already like settling for a wild card.
I mean,
like,
guys, comment down below. But like, did I sound very enthused in what I was saying there?
no,
I mean, I was
you just
acknowledging
sound
that
complacent.
complacent. I mean, also, there's nothing I can do. It's not like I
No,
can go on the
sure,
Yankees and
but it's
fix
like-
them. I'm not the manager. I'm a fan that, yes, I definitely lean on the optimistic side. I do acknowledge that. And if me pointing out how division probably isn't going to happen, but they could still make it as a wildcard team, if that's like what being an optimistic fan is,
I'm
like,
just not happy about that though.
that's fine. No, I'm not like happy about it either, Pat. I'm just letting everybody know that
I think it's dumb that we're walking into Tropicana Field this weekend and we're 8.5 games out of first place. Like, I think that's
shit. No,
insane.
shit does suck, dude. I get that, but also part of this is the baseball season. In a weird way, I love this, like the ups, the downs. Like this is part of why I fell in love with a 162 game marathon, because the way I feel right now, I guarantee you, I'll probably feel this on the total flip side in a positive way about this team at some point, because that's how it works. And that's just how it goes with life,
Well,
bro.
yeah.
Things get worse, things get better. Always a constant state of change, right? That's what's going to happen with this team. That's what always happens in baseball. So it's like, it'd be silly of me to just say like the season's over right now. And I don't think you would say that either. I'm not excited about that. I'm not excited about that at all.
I think we're on the same boat, bro. Like I agree that
like
we're likely gonna have to settle
is?
for a wild card, but I'm really upset about it. You know,
You're
what I mean?
realistic. When you say like you're being realistic, you lean towards the pessimistic side. When I'm being realistic, I take the optimistic side, and that's just the way that we are. You know, it's
no, but
different,
I don't. This isn't a situation of being optimistic or pessimistic. I think it's just a situation of like you've kind of come to terms with the fact we're gonna have to settle for a wild card spot most likely, and I'm like still like in denial about it, being like, yo, what? Like I'm sick to my stomach that we're at this point this early in the season.
I get it. No, I do. I just
because there's nothing to be like positive or negative about it. It's kind of just like the boat where we're in.
Bro, like if there's a chance, I'm gonna believe. Like with everything, you know, like Yogi said, it ain't over till it's over. And also, now that we're talking about it so much, like it is possible the Yankees could come back and grab the division. I just don't predict it. That's kind of and that's what you asked. So I mean, that's my main point with that, while also acknowledging that the season is not over. Just letting everybody know.
By the way, before we wrap this topic up, what would you put the Yankees' odds right now at winning the AL East?
Like guessing what like the sites have them at?
Fangraphs, yeah.
19%.
11.4.
11.4. Playoffs is what? Probably like
playoffs
60,
is actually
70.
only 66, which is kind of crazy.
That makes sense. Well, yeah, they're like a half game out of the wild card.
Yeah,
So I mean, this shit doesn't mean anything now in terms of the playoffs.
No, I'm just saying it's just interesting. That's all. Dan, topic number 4, Willie Calhoun. He's off to nice hot streak, I guess. Last 7 games, 318, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs.
That's a legitimately nice hot streak. Why are you rolling your eyes while you say that? It's a nice hot streak.
Because bro, it's like that thing that
vibes are down.
Like, Willie Calhoun's doing good. It's like cool. Like I'm like,
and that's kind of how we'll address this topic, because we do have to be quick. But go on. Sorry.
Should we stop being mean to Willie Calhoun? That's basically what the question is.
I think he's kind of shut me up a little bit. Like you said, he's doing good. 318 average over his last 7 games and 2 pretty damn big homers and that tying single in the 9th. So Willie Calhoun, I'll give you typically I start with like a week no slander ban. I'm going to give him a good 5-game no slander ban for Willie Calhoun, barring him looking totally pathetic at the plate, which is possible. But he's up to an 85 WRC plus on the season. He's hitting like 250 now. He has found himself in a spot where he is no longer like the face of our problems, if you will. Still not good at him batting 5th or batting 6th, but maybe he can be a piece to help us get by. We'll see. I'm open to Willie Calhoun being a part of this team for the next month. That's where I'm at with it.
He won't
for
be
the next
Yankee
month,
pass.
I said.
Well, yeah, he won't be a Yankee pass like July 1st. Oh, if he is, something seriously went wrong, bro.
By the way, real quick, we don't have a topic about him, but shout out Jake Bowers. Is he a fucking beast or what?
Sure. Dog. Also,
you're in that mode tonight, but it's valid. It's valid. I understand it. You're in your Pat mode tonight.
Listen, I apologize for anybody out there who's being like, "Oh, Pat's being negative." Can you blame me though? You know, like, can you blame me for being like totally pissed off with the Yankees? No, you can't. Sorry. Also, this isn't a topic, bro. IKF being in left field blows my mind.
Yeah, that was Bader's ball all the way. I mean, that was really bad.
On.
Now it's one of this, dude. It's kind of the story of the whole Yankee season. I mean, like, a lot of it's not on the player; it's the management of the player. It's how I feel about Clay being in the ninth. It's how I feel about IKF being in left field. Like, I mean,
I can't blame IKF, but
and hopefully Bader is okay. By the way, I mean, I've heard like Boone said he's fine, but we don't officially know. But I don't know. Speaking of negative, Pat, let's get to topic 5 and get out of here.
I mean, like, we remember Clint Frazier. You know what I mean? Like,
hot take by you, bro. I didn't know that.
Why is that a hot take?
Head injuries are they're dangerous. I didn't know.
Wait, are you being sarcastic?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Topic number 5. Let's hit this one real quick. Yeah. After Jose Trevino's walk-off win, he said something along the lines of, "Shout out to people still in the crowd. These are the true Yankee fans." Me and you, we both took that different ways. I'll say my way first. You say your way after. I took it as like, bro, one thing I don't like is when I feel like players are calling out their own fan base. Javi Baez went through it when he was on the Mets. And the way I'm looking at
he was not calling anybody out, but please go on.
No, this is great. These are the true Yankee fans right here. Stick around through it all. This team has been.
No, you gotta let me finish.
I know that was me interrupting, but letting you finish too. Yeah. It's a little combo.
But yeah, I took this as like, yo, Trevino's knocking the people who left. Even though I think if someone did leave the game tonight, if they were there, I think that they had every reason to, bro. A rainy night, maybe they just wanted to go home. Aaron Boone's trying to punt the game. Like, I get it. So, like, just because you left doesn't mean you aren't a true Yankee fan. So I wasn't a huge fan of that.
Not that deep. Not that deep. I think Trevino was just pumping up the fans that were there, which was totally valid to say, by the way. I mean, it was raining, shitty-ass game. Some fans stayed, and they were hyping him up. Like, I think the overall moment, too, was sick. Like, him doing this to them, like, that shit was dope.
Yeah, it does nothing.
I tweeted out, I was like, fuck yeah, Trevino. Like, I thought it was sick. Dude, he's not when he's saying that, he's not thinking of the fans that aren't there. Like, he's thinking of the fans that are there. So it's not as if he's dissing anybody. He's just celebrating the ones that's still. Once again, this is just how we are, bro. I fall on the side of I think it's fucking sick. I lean in the way of he's complimenting them. I just think you're crazy, bro. And I think it's fucking
I think you're crazy too. But I think we're both crazy in different ways. And I think that's why the Yankees Avenue Show works.
You know what? You couldn't have fucking said it better, Pat. You couldn't have said it better. And also, it's a great way to close the show because we do got to get out of here.
Great.
Good one today, though, I thought. Like, we needed a
great one, actually.
The past two have kind of been therapy sessions. This one I enjoyed a little bit more. I'm not sure why, but
yeah, I'm not going to lie. I feel like in this episode, this might have been one of my most emotional episodes we've ever done. Just to be like, I really think it was.
Passionate topic, bro.
Yeah.
Let me close this out by saying it is good the Yankees took 2 out of 3. Off day on Thursday. Big ass series against the Rays. I mean, if you can take 1 in the Trop, that's probably a W. And then maybe, I don't know, split. It's not even just about the facing the Rays. Like, it's just losing games, period, sucks. Like, right now, I'm almost kind of looking at them as just another team I want to beat because of the fact I'm not thinking too much about the AL East. But 2 out of 3 is good. Season is not over. I can't say things will be okay, but season is not over. Socials, Pat, where can they find you real quick?
Twitter and TikTok, I don't Hinge Patrick, Instagram at True Hennessy. Also follow the Yankees Avenue Show on TikTok. Shout out to Alana. We're posting so much content on there.
Shout out Alana. Dan Alwork on Twitter. Dan Alwork on Instagram. Yankees Avenue here on YouTube. The Yankees Avenue also on Instagram too. What's good?
Even though the Yankees suck, we love you all.
We do. You guys are fucking sick. Numbers this season have been really, I almost said sick again for the second time. But yo, you guys are dope. See you guys next time. Let's go Yankees.
Hey, yo, Pat, you didn't think I'd forget about your buddy, did you? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Patrick. Happy birthday to you. Love you, pal. Happy birthday.